Good morning. Many thanks to everyone for joining us. You're all very welcome to this morning's marketing forum. Following on from the Missing Audiences survey, the results of which were presented last week in the Peacock Theatre and online, this morning we will be looking at winning and welcoming audiences back, effective marketing strategies and tactics, as we know that audiences are everyone's biggest concern at the moment. So just some housekeeping before we begin. We are recording this meeting and it'll be available on our website after the session, and there will also be a live transcript available. And we'd ask you all to please keep on mute until the Q&A at the end. I think that's everything. So now I'm delighted to hand over to Heather Maitland and Katie Rains.
Hello. What a brilliant idea this is. I've personally been feeling as a marketer really quite isolated. So I think this is a great opportunity to find out what's going on with you. Katie and I want to do a lot of listening in this session, because I think your experiences will really bring to life the data that we've got from Katie's amazing Missing Audiences survey. I mean, I have to say we're calling it Missing Audiences because that's what we were trying to find out, but it turns out that a lot of them are not missing. So I'm just going to do a very brief summary of the research for those who weren't able to have a look at the slides or the recording of the session that we did last week. And then the main thing is that we need to look at what barriers we've got now. Why aren't they coming back? And what can we do right now without huge amounts of resources to persuade them that it's okay to do that? So, yeah, interesting. Demand really is down. It seems only this tiny proportion haven't been back to culture. Just 12% aren't coming back to culture and aren't planning to. I'm calling them the holding out group. They're holding out against returning. But of the people who have been back to culture, and we said any cultural activity, event or venue, over 30%, nearly 40% haven't been back to the organisation who sent them the survey. So there's an issue around what they are actually going to. I mean, is it just not us as arts art centres and arts focused theatres? And really worryingly, almost 30% of those who are coming back are going to come less often. And if you look at our most frequent attenders in 2019, even more of them are saying that they will come back less often. So that goes up to over 30%. So that means that we've got a drop if we project ticket sales based on that. And that's quite a big drop. It's 26% tickets sold. So actually, that's not a given, you know, that's not carved in stone, it's a prophecy, and we can do something about that prophecy if we act now. So I think the important thing we need to understand is, why are people hesitating? Well, there's a low level of rather illogical, emotional anxiety about being in crowds and about being in crowds with people you don't know who might misbehave, you know. But there are some really practical anxieties. What happens if the show's cancelled? Will I lose my money? Unfortunately, you know, the experiences with the travel industry where people are still waiting to get their money back from stuff that got cancelled in the first lockdown, you know, people are worried about that. But they're even more worried about, what if they get COVID? What if they can't come because they've got COVID? And actually, that's something that's driving this really problematic late booking issue that I think a lot of you are seeing. So, you know, we want to hear about that. Are you seeing across the board late booking, or is it just certain sorts of events? However, there is this huge intention that whichever angle we look at it from seems to be robust, that they want to come back. What they've missed is having something to look forward to that gets them out of the house for the buzz of the live event. And they're also prioritizing spending time with their friends, time with people who share their enthusiasms, and with their family. So that there's that kind of social thing that they're really worried about. You know, if they go to an arts event, are they going to get that? Or are they going to be sitting in splendid isolation with the bar closed and the cafe closed? So at the moment, these anxieties for the people who are not returning or not returning to us, they're kind of bubbling under, and they're outweighing for these people any kind of compelling or urgent reason to return. So that's what we need to change. We need to give them a compelling and urgent reason to come back. So that's our kind of take on the data. And you know, thank you very much, this forum, for doing that research, because it's just really given us such an inroad. So what reassurances do we need? Well, I think there are two reassurances that we need to give to them now. Urgent issues. First of all, there's a financial reassurance. And then secondly, there's a social reassurance. So what we'd like to do is talk about those things and find out what your experiences are. So let's start off with that financial reassurance. I mean, we're hearing a lot from audiences about cost and value. I would be really interested to know what kind of things would encourage them to book with confidence, and maybe what are the things that are problematic at the moment. So we've got a poll for you, because it'd be really interesting just to see what your current policies are. So what we'd like you to do is just tick this, you know, what is your current refund policy and how easy is it to get it? So you've got some options there: no refund or exchange at all, you know, too risky, they might all take advantage. Exchange your credit by phone or in person. Exchange your credit in any channel, including, you know, do it yourself online. Full refund by phone or in person, or full refund on any channel, including online. And those full refunds, you know, there might be a last resort, but you've told them if they can't have an exchange or credit, they can get a refund. So that counts there. Have a vote. How are we doing, Emma, in terms of responses? Oh, you're on mute.
We've had 30 responses. We'll just give it another few seconds and I'll just share the results. Okay, I'll share the result now. Can you see?
Yeah. Oh, Heather, we can't hear you.
Having told Emma she was on mute, I was on mute. You'd think we'd be used to this by now. Never mind. So about a third of people full refund on any channel, including online. Wow, that's amazing. Almost a third, again, you know, if they phone or come in person. And then, yeah, so quite a few no refunds or exchanges, and quite a few where you can't get a refund, but you can get an exchange or a credit. Wow, Katie, do you want to comment on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm interested to know, if we ask your customers what they think you do, whether they would say this about you. Because I wonder whether those of you who are doing really generous full refunds and everything, whether your customers do know that, whether it's front and center in your marketing. Where we've seen organizations do that, it has made quite a big difference. So I don't know, it's just a question from me really as to, are you prioritizing that? And those of you who aren't doing that, what's stopping you? I know there's loads of reasons why you might not be able to do that, but what are they, and what could, if anything, how could you unblock those reasons? Because if you could offer refunds, our sense is that it might make quite a big difference. So I think that's what we're going to talk about in the groups, isn't it, Heather?
It is indeed, yeah. What we'd like you to do is talk about this so we can all get a picture on what everybody's doing and see what the customers are seeing when they engage. So what we'd like you to do is talk about what book with confidence policy, what thing do you think for your audiences, whether you're a company or a venue or whatever, what would be most reassuring for your audiences? And then what are the barriers or blockers that are kind of causing you problems in implementing them? And how could we then unblock them? What we'd like to do is give you 10 minutes to talk about that in quite small groups, and then to have a quick feedback if anybody wants to share. And it would be interesting to just have a kind of any big issues that come up in rather than going around and everybody reporting back, just some big issues that might come up. So